only reason why my boys had
You see this
they
dot?
tattoos before they was before they
I
was
was getting a panther. There go the panther.
old, old enough
It was
is
one.
because they have tattoo artists that are friends. Like one of their friends that did they stuff. I mean, he's like excellent. He's moved out of town and everything. That's his thing. I think his dad was doing it and all that stuff too. So that's basically how they end up getting it before um
He probably
I really
practiced
wanted
out
them
now.
to. No, he was
Y'all see
already
my
doing them.
first ghetto
He was already doing
I
them.
had a boyfriend.
So I mean, they
His
stuff
name
perfect.
was Quinn. And he was doing it with the Indian ink because he had been in jail. And that was my first tattoo. We did this ourselves, ghetto. It say Pookie, my first one.
I'm hollering.
My
But
second one was Iron Age.
yeah, so like I said, that was the only way they got theirs. They came back, look, mama, look at me. I was like, didn't I tell you not to do that? They was like, too late.
Let me tell you, I had my kids play me. All of them got Ite.
Uh, so they can say, we got your name, mama.
They all my kids got my name on them, except for the baby girl.
But then when he realized what happened and all that, and he was like, you said, I say, I'll be telling you, people, stuff happen for a reason. We don't tell y'all stuff like that, and then a lot of people get stuff when they're young and they regret it. So I'm like, we just tell you stuff for a reason, and then like I told people too, I would never go out and take my sons and pierce their ears. No, they have to wait till they get grown to do that, and that's what they did.
Because they may not want their ears.
Right. They may
And
not
then
want
back
their ears
then,
pierced.
like stuff was discretion wise, like how everything
And
could
too,
just.
I never could remember on the boy which herb was
Left
which
or
herb was
something.
supposed to be pierced and which
But you
one
know,
was
back
not.
then,
So I don't wanna
by
be
then they was
Yeah,
doing
they
both.
correct what I
Back
said.
then.
But
Yeah.
they was doing both back then.
Yeah,
My
I
kids,
was saying-
my baby finna be 30, and they was piercing both of them.
I was saying my dad had both of them pierced, and he had 4-carat earrings that he put in, but he waited until he could afford the 4-carat earrings before he went and got his piercing, because he was like he just felt that
If you
2 carats was beneath him. And 4 carats was just perfect if you're gonna get both of your ears pierced. And there was something about he might as well get them both pierced because one of them meant you flipped the opposite direction or something. He said,
Girl,
and I just stared at him like, okay, yeah, Lil Tony's not doing none of that,
right.
none of that at all. If he wanted, which he still to this day does not have his ears pierced. If he wants his ears pierced, he'll go get them pierced.
But basically, like we were saying too, guys. On the flip side, how we need to be more involved, pay attention to things that's going on with our kids,
our grandbabies mainly now.
and the grandbabies, and being
That's
able
family
to
business.
Be a driving force to
Yeah.
that. What do they call that village that they
That
used to have
village.
back in the day? Because most of the time, the reason why the kids go off the rails is because you stop parenting once
Yeah.
they hit 18, and you're always a parent. As long as you're still breathing, it's still stuff that you could teach them, show
Yeah.
them, or at least lead them in the correct direction. So that way that they understand how to find the answer that they need. Even if they pig-headed kids, if
Right.
you put it out there and they know
They
that they
still
bumping
hear
their
it, yep.
heads, they hear it and they'll be like, well, mama told me to do it this way, or daddy told me to do it like this. So now that I done learned that my way don't work,
Right.
let me try her way
and
or his way.
and then like a lot of things, like people think because they, like you said, they reach a certain age or they Disney. Oh, you can't tell me what, honey. I'm 50-something years old, a teacher. I still learn stuff from my kids
every day.
every day at school, and then teachers are like doctors and all of those. You constantly learn and evolve and learn and evolve. You and then like I
Every
say,
single
and
minute
then
of the
like I
day,
say,
I
by
learn
being
something.
by being a teacher and certain things that you have to do, just like when we was in the preschool situations or whatever, you have to make up all of your activities and things like that. And when you put these activities down and you do something, the way that you intend on them to work with it and do it, them kids will turn around and do something with that activity that you never would have thought of doing.
And now you got.
And now you got a new way of doing stuff. If you give people chances to be creative and talk and speak or whatever, you learn stuff if you listen and you watch. Because I could have just threw something out there and let them do whatever and not paid attention or made them do it my way or whatever. But I learned something new. And when you learn something new, then you're able to do it again and do it again, and then you're able to do
And
something
actually,
better,
right.
and you're able to help somebody better. Because apparently this is not what they got out of it, but they got this out of it, and they showing you how they can use this or whatever. So yeah,
For
so
different teachers,
you
for
learn
different
stuff.
students that
You learn
teach- that
stuff
learn
every
different.
day. So just because it's a kid, you don't mean you don't have to listen. It just cause well, y'all, that's old school and all that. Nah, shit it revolves, it goes around, Even when whether you religion or not, and whoever rewrote the Bible or however they translated or whatever, even when you read stuff out of these different Bibles and all that stuff, it's just like the world. It's just spinning. The stuff is playing out over and over again. Fashion plays out over and over again. Everything plays out over and over again. So pay attention.
You can look at someone
Pay
and never
attention.
see something. You know how you ride down the street,
Mm-hmm.
and it be your street, and you never seen that car right there, but that car ain't never moved from there. I'll be going down my street and seeing new houses. I'm a trainer. I run up and down my street every day.
And you know what? That is so crazy because it's literally been a car parked like across the street, right in dead in the middle of my driveway. Like if I bag up, I got to watch out and all that. And I've been pissed off about it. Even when something went on, we asked the police. They was like, "Ain't nobody reported stolen or nothing like that." I don't even remember if that car was. I know it was there this morning when I left, but I don't remember if it was there when I pulled up. And when I pulled off to come here, I was zooming out the driveway and I looked. The car is gone. It's been sitting there so long that I'm so used to it sitting there that I didn't even realize it was gone today. So when I was coming out, I was like, "What the world?" Still don't know where it came from, but like you say, if you have to pay attention to all things and pay attention to what your children are doing and how they going, because we get so used to stuff that we think they still being the same way, or we think we saw them do this, or we think they were still doing this and that, and you don't pay attention because we so used to routine. We so used to people laugh at me because I get in my car and I start driving and I might be trying to do something different or go somewhere different. Just for instance, like a new job. Shit, I done went to the old job a couple times and I ain't supposed to be there because my car just drove me. My car drove me. My car be driving itself. It's like the Night Rider.
She pulled in my driveway. I said, "Where you going, girl? My car finna drive itself."
I mean, because like I'm
So
a creature of habit,
Yep.
and I'm like. I do mainly the same thing. That's why people told me learn how to turn different corners and do this and do that, because
That way
when
you
people
know
are
if somebody
watching you,
following
when people watching you and following you, now I'm very visual with that because for once I was an armed security officer. I did security for years and all type of places. So people don't never see. I see it. So I'm visual to that. Like if I feel like somebody follow me, I will do all that. But it's basically like I say, I have so much of the same routine and I do stuff. It's like my mind, without even thinking or wonder whatever, it's like my mind is already set on certain things. So like I say, a lot of times I've been to think I'm like, did I not? Because I'm so used to doing it. And it's so into there. So I thought, I'm like, nah, I ain't do that. So let me, do certain things. So, when we watching, we used to watching our kids do this, do that, and we're not really paying attention. And then you sit back and you think, like I just said, like, yeah, they been doing X, Y, Z, they that. We got to be more vigilant of what's going on when it comes to our children and watch stuff. Because
a good way to watch them is when you have them daughters and they get them periods and they don't have them, and you so busy asking them, well, did you, baby, I knew when my kids was coming on, so I would know if something changed. But people get, my daughter, she's 27 now. But when you adults, your kids' cycles are right with yours usually, either a week off or a week before. So,
and you know what? That's crazy because it don't even have to be your children. It's whoever in that household.
y'all
will sync. Y'all will sync together.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because I'm cool with April and we like literally.
Yeah,
together.
y'all always sync together.
When I'm ending, she just started.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
y'all will
but y'all
sync
can
together.
keep up with each other. So.
And my
People
daughter
like,
is the
I
same
didn't
as
even
me.
know my daughter was. How come you did? Because I knew.
Because I know that me and my daughter is the exact same. So I buy when I go to Sam's the
Yep.
big box that we both use. So if I notice that she ain't digging in her,
There's some quick.
firecracker
Or ain't having these
down
dishes.
this hallway. Come here, let's run this down and talk. But again, I've been a parent that I've actually forgot and not tripped off that she ain't picked out of it. And then it'll take a minute and I'll be like, more here than it's supposed to be. And then I'll go and be like, hey, something you didn't tell me? No. And see, she worked now, so she don't use. I don't feel comfortable using your stuff, and I make my own money.
Who that
Okay.
sound like?
That's cool.
Yeah, we have to
I
be
get
more
it.
visual.
But I'm
with stuff.
asking because I want to make sure because I ain't.
Yeah.
I already asked y'all. I don't have no kids until y'all was over 27.
Right. And yeah, sis, you always, nobody's saying that you always have to you can guide your kids, you can guide anybody, and they always gonna do what they want to do. But we just saying when you
What's she say?
when you constantly
What
tell
she
them,
say?
no, she was like, that's just what she said. You guide them, you could guide them, and they still, have to, take the right path.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you do. But that's
Yeah.
the thing about it. But
They heard
as
you.
long as you give them that path to take,
Yeah, because
then they'll know. Even if they turn that wrong way,
uh-huh.
they'll know how to go back.
come back
to the other path.
And then they'll
do
come
it.
back. My
Yeah.
little
And they done
cousin-
had that.
Yeah, because
that
I had my
same.
son say they were like, I should have just did the way you told me to do it in the first place. But no, because it don't work that way all the time. Sometimes you need to knock your head to understand that this was the path you should have took
And
over
then
here, so you
people-
understand
yeah.
how grateful you are that you had the chance
Right.
to take this path over here now.
And then people be so mad, like, they should have did it my way.
No.
Do you know how many times I done did the stupidest stuff in the world
Yeah.
that brought me to this person that I am now? And my mama did not have nothing to do with me deciding to make this decision.
And that pissed me
on
off.
my own.
Because the first thing I'm like, you need to charge the parents and all that. That could be the best parent in the world. Like I be telling them. First of all,
once they get over a certain age, they gonna make
a lot
that
of
decision
things,
anyway.
a lot of
First
things
off,
that
they learn
goes
from too many
on.
people.
But a lot of things that
'Cause
goes
everybody
on.
is an influence.
The parents. Don't tell me I should be at home with my parents. Be at home with my kids when I gotta work to take care of my kids. Half of these kids sneak out. You don't know. You can't monitor these kids
Girl,
and
we
everything
snuck out
they
soon
do.
as my mama went skating on.
That's
from
what I'm
9
saying.
to
You
12,
can't-
baby.
Okay, so
If
I
I'm
see a
at work,
perfect example
if
of
I'm at work
sneak out.
working, I can't.
Is my mama
So I
working?
shouldn't be punished because I'm at work doing what I'm supposed to do, and my kids decide to go out and do some stupid shit.
Make sure my mama ain't looking. So my first time of actually sneaking out
I ain't never have to do none of that. Come on.
was I got my first car, and I was told you can't drive your car until you get insurance. I was like, all right, whatever. The car was not in my name; it was in my stepmama's name. So there is insurance on it because it's in her name.
So you passed the test.
So I went out in my mind. I was like, ain't nobody heard, ain't nobody gonna know. I went in the kitchen. I emptied out 2 glass bottles of Coke and put them in a trash bag and bust them up. Because I knew my car had to be in the exact same parking spot that it was when my parents left. So, okay, cool. So I pulled my car forward because they didn't took both of their cars. So they car, and we lived on a street where it was street parking in the city. So their cars were gone. And normally nobody parked in they spots. So I always was able to pull right behind them. So both of their cars are gone. I pulled forward into where my mama normally parked. I put the glass down. I put the bucket and the bucket you wash the floor with, and a broom and a dustpan in my trunk. Now my daddy must have knew that I was gonna leave because I spent the night in jail. I literally go to the edge of the corner, and I lived in O'Fallon Place. I make it to the edge of the corner, which was 16th and Cochran. I make a right. I go 2 blocks down. I make it past Preservation. I get to O'Fallon. I make a left. That takes me to 14th Street in O'Fallon. It's a fucking paddy wagon sitting at the corner. But I seen it. I was like, fuck. Okay. I'm just gonna act like I'm supposed to be out here. I literally made the turn, pulled, and then all of a sudden you see, so I was looking at my purse and I was like, hopefully I got my sister ID in my purse, even though we don't look shit alike. Maybe he just look at the age and give it back to me. So I'm looking at my purse. I see her ID. I pull it out. And he walked up on the car and said, Bianca, can you get out? I was like, huh? How do you know who I am? He was like, yeah, Dyson knew you was going to leave. So he told me if I wasn't doing nothing to sit right here. Man, my parents had been gone for like 2 hours. I literally waited till I knew they was on the boat.
Your daddy set you up?
Yes. I knew they was on the boat because I called his cell phone and I was like, if he answered, because that was when the bag phones was popular. So my dad had, I was like, if he answered, that means he is still in the casino. I ain't got nothing to worry about because they going to be there till 3 o'clock in the morning. I ain't got nothing to worry. I'll be back before 3. Yeah, I went out being all cute, no drawers on, and a bra and my dress on. So I sat down at Central. Yeah, until they got off the boat. And they literally stayed. They normally get off at
They
like 2
stayed
or
to make
3
you wait
o'clock.
longer.
I was there until 7 o'clock in the morning, waiting
they-
on them to come get me.
And when they came,
My daddy just looked. He was like, I knew your dumb ass was going to leave. I was like, Daddy, really? He told him, get your ass up. They feed you. I said, yeah. He told him. And the dude was like, oh, yeah, I used the $20 you gave me and went and got her some White Castle, so I made sure she ate.
I'm hollering.
I was like, for real, Daddy? That's what we doing? You learn your ass to stay in the house when I tell you to stay in the house. He was like, anything could have went wrong.
Yeah.
You out, you not thinking of your surroundings. You young, you just trying to get out because you got a brand new car. And all I'm trying to do is protect you from what's out in the streets. Because you not telling us where you going. I wouldn't know where to start searching for you if you just took your car. Then when we pulled up, I was on punishment. I got insurance and had to keep paying for it for 3 months. I was on punishment. I couldn't drive my car for 90 days once he realized that I was that sneaky that I put glass in my parking spot.
So nobody went park.
So nobody would park there, so I could pull right back into my parking spot. And then when he looked in the trunk and seen, you actually pre-planned this, like,
premeditated.
yeah, he was like, really? 90 days, no car. You riding the bus going forward.
And that's a good thing, like I'm saying, because it don't matter who your parents are and your people is police and all of that and all that. And they can, it don't matter who your parents are or what it is. Children still, and like she was saying, children still do what they
Let
want
me
to
tell
do.
y'all about my little fast butt daughter. This little helper.
They still
She
do.
gonna sneak out.
So we have to watch.
I done came home, right? My sister done called me because we stayed in Windham Chase. My sister stayed across the parking lot from me. She said, Pookie done snuck her butt out. No, I called her. I said, Pookie done snuck her butt out. She thought that I had to work overnight because I would pick up extra hours. So my sister over there sitting on her porch, and I'm sitting on my porch. They get out the car with the little boy. They come walking their fast butts
Into the building.
Yeah, because my sister normally be protective and let my daughter get away with stuff, but she was pissed off because she had left with these little boys. They walking. Here they come. I'm out in the dang hopped out the tree on them.
Girl, not the tree.
Girl, I started swinging on her, and the girl took off running. I think I must have whooped both of the kids. I whooped the little girl, too, because I was not playing with them. They had been out, like, to 2 o'clock in the morning. They thinking I'm working overnight, girl.
Cause then it make you wonder how many times have you did this?
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't at home normally to be able to do that. But I think my worst time of being slick with a car, my auntie had this, what was it, a Volvo? It was a gray Volvo. Let me tell you how smart I was. She stayed in a University City Commons. I had been taking the car, teaching myself how to drive for like the last couple of weeks. My neighbor, baby, we gonna get in the car this day. We going in a city on Taylor to see my boyfriend because now I got me a city boyfriend. Now you know the Commons is right there at right there off of Eastgate, Westgate. So we go down, we turn it, but this time we gonna take 16 people with us. Literally in this car, it was me, my brother, my
So
sister.
y'all literally turned the Volvo into a clown car.
Baby, a clown car. But because of all of these people in here, I don't know nothing. I'm driving now. I could drive enough to get where I'm going. I don't know what made me stay going down. I went down Skinker, and I kept straight down Skinker, and I was right there where that bank is. Girl,
Regis.
ran over something with all these people in here.
Jesus.
Tire flat. Man comes and helps us change the tire. Put the dummy tire on. I'm so dumb. I don't know. All I know is the tire put back on. Girl, we get the car. We still go to my boyfriend's house.
You was supposed to go home.
No, because she worked overnight. So, girl, we get back to the house.
And look like
No, let me tell you how
the right
dumb we
tire.
are. We get the real tire that ain't nothing but need a patch. We get a knife and we cut the tire up. Now, we so dumb. We cut the actual tire up that's in the trunk. The man had been nice enough to put a little note with kid writing, B.I. kill you, and make it seem like her boyfriend did this. But we was too dumb that we didn't realize that the dummy tire was on there. Who gonna come and select your tire?
and
put
change
in
it.
the car.
And change it.
She called the police. The police come up like he mad. We don't know. We think we done outsmarted them. Girl, he was like, tell me the truth or you going to jail. I was like, I don't know. My cousin. She had took the car and she had,
Don't do no crimes with us.
baby, I wasn't telling nothing. He played like he was going to lock me up. I'm a G because I'm the oldest. I'm in there crying like, Mother, please don't take me to jail. He was like, what made you think that you was smarter than her. I was like, what you talking about? He said, girl, who don't cut the tire up
And change.
and change it? Girl, I was dumb as hell. I ain't steal that car no more. From that point on, she started letting me drive the car because she realized I could drive it. But we used to go down to the tilt when we skipped school because I stayed way in Maryland Heights. We would go down there and learn how to drive on the machines. That's how I learned how to drive. They had no idea that I knew how to drive. And I was so dumb. The only reason I really would have got caught is because I parked it in a different spot. You know, in the complex lot, it's a whole big lot. I couldn't park it back where it was. Girl. My auntie talk about me to this day. About
That is so funny, but yeah, that's why I say we all do stuff, you know, and we all do stuff. We don't want to encourage our children to do stupid stuff, but what we're saying is
we done everything.
Nobody is perfect.
That's no manual to raise.
Right, and it's not no manual to raising children, and the first thing about it is too. That's the dumbest thing ever to me, the people who read the books. And I just tell them, you can't raise no kid out of no book because, first of all, not 2 kids are alike. No. You can have only 2 children, which I only have 2.
And they totally
different. And you cannot...
Every one of them different.
You cannot talk to this one the way you talk to that one. You can't treat this one like you treat that one. You can't, and then like I said, as being a teacher for umpteen thousand years, and you have your classroom, you have your kids. You can't teach them the same. You can't treat them the same
because they learn.
Because everybody is different. So whoever talk that crap about writing books on how to raise kids and how to do this, they just getting your money.
They can write books in regards to what happened in their own life, and you can compare some things, but like you said, no two kids
no manual.
No two people
you
are
can,
the same.
I got to read this. I'm reading these books on how to be a parent. What? And
you
shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do that.
The infants and the different things that they do at certain stages, because those be correct. But other than that, no.
Because they hit milestones.
But those are milestones. Those are not teaching you how to raise them.
That's all you can read about your kids.
Or what you should expect when you're pregnant. Like, yes, you're going to expect to be bloated. You're going to expect to be moody. You're going
then some people don't go through none of that stuff.
Exactly. Because I never, like with the first one,
pregnancies are
I
different.
had morning sickness the whole time. The second one, you wouldn't even have known I was pregnant. I was literally 90 pounds and nothing but belly, and it didn't show up until I was like 7 months. Mm-hmm. Then with the third one, I was just I don't know what happened. I just know Red Lobster should have put me out a long time ago.
The third one's the boy?
The third one is the baby girl. She was only 8.5 pounds, 8.5 pounds. However, I went from like 120 pounds to damn near 220, 230 because I couldn't push away from the table. I had a partner who worked at Red Lobster, so every day when their husband at that time would be at work, I'd go straight up to Red Lobster, and he was the manager there too, and sit in there while I'm waiting on the husband to get off and eat.
And she'll eat.
Yes, that girl can't put down, like you could tell her we going to go eat some seafood. As long as it's a spot she like, she eating it.
Yeah. So basically, like we're saying is there's no manual to raising children. There's no manual to being a parent. None of that. We just have to be more in tune with each other. We have to be more in tune of what's going on. We have to know how to communicate. Communication is the key to everything because, like I said, we're losing our children just too fast and everything because, like I say, that's just a horrible thing. I mean, I just keep going back to that because, I mean, me, the type of person that I am now compared to the type of person I would have been when I was younger, I would have been upset if somebody had a naked picture of me and that I sent to them and they was threatening me for money or sex or making me do things and said that they would show. Even though I know it was wrong, I would have tried to cover it up. Now, the type of person I grew up to be and all of that, I would have been like, I don't give a damn. But at that time when I was younger, I was very conservative and stuff like that. I would have just, I don't know.
I'm still a discreet type of person.
I still like, I never want nobody to see me.
Yeah, I do what I want to do, and I show what I want people to see. But private stuff is just still private.
Yeah.
We wasn't brought up in days
Yeah.
where you could just
be out here.
That's why I say I
Like,
ain't trying to be
nothing
funny.
is
I have no naked pictures in nothing. So you would never. So I don't even care what you see on the phone or whatever. Whoever sent what they sent, that's on them.
Okay.
I have, and I think I mostly deleted them because I got to the point where I either delete them or, like I say, to block the people or never, got them off my page or whatever, never pay attention. But I don't have, I would never be ashamed or embarrassed about anything in my phone. If it got caught away. Because, no, I'm just saying, if stuff.
About nothing in my phone, but
I don't want everybody in my phone.
I don't want everybody in my phone because
I
it ain't
take
on their
pictures.
business. But
I be walking past the picture and see a little fat on my back and take a picture. And I ain't got to have no clothes on because that's the most accurate thing because I know what I need to work on to keep comparing it. So people probably be like, oh, she love herself. No, she don't like that fat on her back. No, she don't like that fat on there, But as far as,
But yeah,
burn my phone.
like I say, just think. So just think if you
Man,
got a
you do too
17-year-old, a
much to it,
16-year-old,
it set itself
13-year-old,
anyway.
Right.
right? A 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old that's already probably because they know who to get. They know who to get, so they probably
That's just
already
like the
got
people who
low
target the old
self-esteem.
people.
Yeah, they already got low
Oh,
self-esteem.
yeah.
They the ones that probably nobody don't like. So that's why it's easier. So they go after the ones that they feel like, oh, it ain't the prettiest in the bunch, or he ain't the finest, and so let me go and try to make
Exploit him.
exploit him or her.
Getting the very pretty one.
No,
we
a lot of them they
the
don't.
highest self-esteem. They be the lowest self-esteem for real.
Oh, yeah, you know
thought
that.
about
You know
when we
that.
was younger, how most of the prettiest girls
What
was
the nasty
fastest,
ones.
the nastiest, and we didn't think we were so pretty, and we were scary. You know what I'm saying? It was backwards back then. They'll talk about us, but they really want to be us, and we didn't even want to be us. Life's just different. But these kids ain't afraid of nothing. I got every video on my, what is that thing where we can put them videos in our stories?
Shit.
The stories.
Mhm.
Most of these little girls twerking with their little booties and their little privates all out. They just don't have no discretion.
Because they think that's what it take to. They think
They
that's what
think
it
everything
take.
is about likes.
They
Mhm.
think
Who watching
everything
me?
is about being like reality stars and
But yeah,
I
and
have grown people my
Peer
age
pressure.
talking about some cause Candy, baby, I do not know Candy. I love her show and I love the things that she do, but I can't compare myself to her.
Birds.
Bird
Ah.
girl.
oh, my bad. I know.
Cause I wanna be like
But that's what I'm saying. That's just the wildest and the craziest thing ever. If adults still tripping off themselves and all of that, that's why I keep going back to how you think our children are feeling and doing, and it's just crazy.
Well, they born into this mess. We wasn't born into it, so we actually got something to actually compare.
Yeah,
to.
and we born
They don't
into
have
it,
nothing
but
to
they
compare
still
it to.
hurting from it because we didn't get no suicides when
But
we was
they didn't know.
younger
They
and all
don't
of
know
that.
nothing about it being hurtful because they're born into it. You know, when you had a comparison is a lot of times the worst thing you can have. But for us, it's what saved our lives. In comparison to that, I wasn't doing that. We got caught by pregnancy. They didn't know, baby, no ma'am, doing what? You couldn't prove it number 5 times because that's how many kids I got. You know, it was very different.
It's just where like I'm just gonna keep saying we just need to keep being vigilant. We need to keep the communication, the lines of communication open, and we need to be more. What would I say? We need to be more in tune and more protective of our children
And then we need
because our children are just so free
we
now.
don't live in a world where they're afraid of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So these kids are gonna be the kids that really be the best things because with no fear, they're gonna do everything that we was afraid to do. They're not gonna just shut up. A lot of them gonna die because they're not afraid of nothing. But this is like the millennium that's gonna be like the people that take over the world and be the best people. Because with no fear, we was afraid of everything. You know, we just started speaking out about everything since we got grown. These kids just talk about everything, they doing everything. I got about to be an 18-year-old, and my son just turned 20. And like in their lives, like where me and they dad might look at my son like that's my son, and then be closed-minded to my daughter because that's his daughter. And with me, I treat them individually because I need them to understand, like, life is different. Like, I can't tell you, oh, don't do this because life not like we had it. Mm-hmm. We had 25 grannies. We had the whole street whooping our butt. We had the people over here watching us. I couldn't get away with nothing because if my mama didn't catch it, the whole
Somebody
street was going to tell her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now they in cahoots with the kids. They ain't telling on the kids. Most of them are the people who look at
they
the
want to
kids.
they want to be friends with the kids. I ain't trying to be your friend.
And that's the difference. Everybody wants to be their friends, their kids' friends nowadays.
Yeah, my job wasn't put her to be your friend. My job was to put her to make sure that you actually
now that
survive
my daughter
and make
is
it.
older,
Exactly.
she like that's my little homegirl. But when she was a kid, I was in her business.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I'm in my kids'
still
business.
in
I'm
their
and they
business.
grown.
No, I'm talking about when she was little, because she's 27 now, baby. I was in her business.
Yeah, I'm
She
gonna
tell
say
her friends.
I still call my kids. What's going
Girl,
on?
I got boys and I'll be
happened?
in their business.
Yeah, I still be. Mine is 27. 26. I still be like, what's
Mine's
going on?
27, 29. And
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah,
28 next month. The other
I
be
need to know
30.
everything that's going on, so I know if I need to cuss you out and tell you what you're doing wrong, if I need to pat you on the back and tell you keep going.
Yeah, I mean,
doing
because
a
like
good
you said, the lines of communication, and then like me and my kids, we close. You know, when we together and do a lot of stuff, and that's what a lot of people be saying. Well, your kids friend because you drink. I say, look, my kids old enough to drink, and if my kids want to have a drink, and they old enough to drink, people raise their families different and all that, but that don't make me less than no mother because I got somebody that's over 21. And we went somewhere and we had a drink, or we at the house party and they had a drink. That don't make me less than their mother or none of that. I said that's how my family was raised. Our family party. Yeah, they took you out. You turned 21.
Yeah,
and then drinks with your friends and be irresponsible.
I did the same.
But we just partied in our house.
But my second child, he drinks. So on his 21st birthday, I took him out to party for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I took him to the strip club.
My son told
I
me
kicked it with
the
him.
23-year-old, he wants to go out with his cousins and have a drink. He ain't never drunk nothing in his life. So that's going to be something we going to do because he asked for that. You know, and we not even no family of big drinkers or nothing. But I would rather him have his first experience with his family because we grew up like.
I know you're going to make it back home.
I was the oldest.
I don't want nobody slipping you.
We did ours at home.
And I was the oldest girl, which means I was with all the aunties, all the mamas. Like, my mom was gone and doing her thing. But with my aunties, I was rolling with my aunties. When I got to go to the club for the first time, I was with my auntie. And she'd be like, you want something to drink? And I was like, no. I was scared to drink then, but shoot, when I did learn how to drink, I was with them. And it still wasn't no whole lot of nothing because my little boy didn't know how to drink.
I'll crack it up. But that's just funny because, oh, shit, I took that whole live off. But that's just funny because,
Is it still on there?
Yeah, it's on there. But that's just, girl, I be trying to turn around so I can see people. But because, I mean, a whole lot of stuff goes with a whole lot of stuff. Like, my mom didn't really drink or nothing like that. And, like I said, we did most of the partying was with my dad and them because that's what they did. They whole family, they had 3 sisters. They had 5 sisters, but they had 3 sisters that was her. And every weekend we was at one of those 3 sister houses. They stayed together all the time. That's why everything you did, you didn't have to go nowhere and do this and that. Yeah, we went to the team parties and we did all that, but we didn't have to go and do all that stuff because our family get together. Like Sunday, you going to church, you having dinner. Saturday, you having fish fry. Saturday morning, you getting up early. They going to the Goodwill. They going to the food place. They going to this. We sit in the club. You know, you getting food. You getting this. Then you coming back. Everybody gonna kick it. But that's just how I was raised. We party within the family. So it didn't mean that you can do anything you want to do, or you didn't get your butt whooped for doing stuff, or you weren't raised the right way, or none of that. It's just the fact that we party with the family. That's just like I was saying about my mom. My mom didn't drink or do none of that. My mom stayed in church. I always was at church and all that stuff, and didn't drink and hang with us. But when I turned 21, they threw me a surprise birthday party. I didn't know what was going on. My mom was like, yeah, I'm going to take you out and all this. And I went to the bar with my mama and her best friend. We sat there or whatever, and then they bought me a drink. We drank whatever. Then we went to the house where all my people was at or whatever. They threw me a party. But like I tell people, just because you have a drink with your parents or your parents drink with you or whatever, that don't make you no bad parents or you trying to be nobody's
No,
friend. Because one thing about it, two things for sure. Mine, no, I don't play. My family tell you in a minute, baby. All I do is do that eye. But
What's the
I
idea?
love her. Girl, you know I got faces. My face tell it all. So if I do that, I'm giving that eye, do that face. The first thing that house about now, I don't even know why y'all even want to go there with y'all mama, because y'all know what she, yeah. Because I'm never my kid's friend.
Well,
Because my kids are not on my level as a friendship or whatever. You know, a lot of people, my mama, my best friend, I'm still not their best friend. I'm their mother. I'm their mother. So
I am 45,
I'm still
and
gonna
my
be there
mama
as
is
their
66
mother.
now, and that's my homegirl. You know it.
Yeah.
She be right there with us.
I mean, that's how we
But
was with my
It
parents.
became that way when I got older. And the things, I wasn't doing nothing. But, like, with my family, the party is the family. Like, we just had the death. And we went to San Antonio. And we got with my auntie who make all the drinks and cook all the food. She had everybody over there drunk in 5 minutes. But that's the known thing, you know. And I'm not no big drinker, but if I get around them, I know I'm safe. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going nowhere. They gonna feed me and they gonna lay me down and they ain't finna let nobody touch me because I'm
Right.
be with them.
Yes,
So
your
it's
family.
always been a safety net and fun. Most of us sit around the people that we know because of the very reason that we was raised with nothing but our family. I wasn't outside with friends doing all this. Like, I go out with y'all and I'm safe and everything like that. But I just never been really an outside person when it came to doing like real personable stuff because all I ever knew was my family. The people that got added in was on the way, but
Right.
my biggest fun is my family.
That's what I tell them. I say, because baby, we did everything, you know. And I had a lot of people like to always like to come over
Right.
and be around us and all of that, and because it would be my, you know, they like, dang, y'all got granny, y'all got grandma and granddaddy, y'all got mama, y'all got aunt TT, you know, my siblings and all of that. They was like, and y'all just having a good time, y'all cooking, eating, or whatever. And then now that we grown, you know, y'all, we could drink or whatever. And they don't care. No, because you're grown. Go downstairs, turn the music on, do what y'all doing. They up here doing what they doing. The kids up there doing what they doing. That's how I was raised. That's
and
we
it
did.
be
And it's,
all fun.
yeah,
Get up
we
there
playing
with
cards,
Christmas
we
and
playing
Thanksgiving.
games.
Every year the kids gonna do their TikTok.
Yeah.
Then the adults gonna join in. This is something that they look forward to.
Yeah.
And this is how they raise their kids. This is how family reunions continue to go
Family,
on.
that's why I tell them, I say, we so busy of trying to push everybody away. I can't be partying because I never, that's your business. That's what you want to do. But it's nothing wrong. If you don't want them around, like, we couldn't sit around the adults. We still had to go where the teenagers and the younger people was at, and the little baby kids was on this level, and the teenagers and the other grown ones was right here, and then the mamas and the daddies grown, they was right here. But everybody was still in the house together, and everybody knew what everybody was doing, and it's a family thing and all of that. So it is what it
And you
is.
grew up and you could finally sit down there with them. And
Yeah.
you're not trying to sneak and drink
Yeah.
that cup.
You
What
don't
is
got,
this?
yeah. You know, so
My baby
I
growing up
love
with
kicking
them
it with
Browns,
my family because that's how I was brought up. I kicked it with my family. So any chance that I get to sit down, if we drinking and playing cards and throwing darts and dominoes and having our dart tournaments and whatever we doing,
How do your kids return it if they never experienced it with their parents? Like,
That's a good,
regardless to
good question.
love, regardless to respect, regardless to how you interact with your kids is how they learn to interact with their kids. So the thing is, if your kid receive love, even if y'all break away, they gonna give it back.
Yeah.
Because it's ongoing. Like my mom and them took me to church. And
we
when I
all
got
went to
older-
church.
When I got older,
Still
I
go.
went on my own because it was instilled with me. And you know, we go through our little things where we want to do our own thing. But if it's in you, if it's put there, like my kids, they done did some of the craziest stuff at some point. But the good thing about them is I'm never worried because I know that I done put enough in them for them to find their way back to the right thing. They make a lot of different choices in their lives for themselves. And I'm just smart enough to know that If I tell them don't do this, that's exactly what they gonna go do. My mama don't know nothing. My mama, and then they be looking at me like,
or they say we old.
baby,
Y'all old. You don't know. It ain't the same way it was back then.
Yeah, because they speak on all of that thing, all that stuff, and then they look at them, because I'm saying pull your pants up, you pull your pants up, or so like that, when they was going through that stage, and do this, do that, like mama this and that, or they, they see that all, they look this and that. My kids are the most intelligent children there is. It ain't nothing that y'all can bring up and talk about politics, religion, anything. It's nothing that y'all can bring up and talk about that my kids ain't on point with it. I mean, you talking to scholars, you talking to kids that was knew how to play chess at 3 and 4 and 5 years old, know how to play. You know what I'm saying? You talking to kids that can sit up at 3, 4, 5 years old and have a conversation with grown people and know what they talk about and speak intelligently. You have children that people want to quote about, why he ain't in the children's church and he this and that, and he get up and tell you everything the preacher said and know what he's saying, that they can quote their Bible inside and out. They can quote the Quran. They know different religions. They know all of this stuff. They can sit down and speak and teach. It blows their mind. Just like my youngest son, Normandy had the thing where you go and you could go to college for those 2 years, and by the time you graduate out of high school, you would have had a high school diploma and a college degree. You would have had that. But in order to get into there, you had to write an essay, and then you had to speak to one of the professors. The professor came out of the room just shaking his head, and I'm like, and I bust out laughing. I said, I already know he's my son. Looking at this little dude and all this, my son. Mom, y'all might be like, Mom, they like, this kid here this child here is deep. And it's a 16-year-old child, that had medical issues, that had stuff going on. What they were saying, we're going to do this. Had asthma, almost died. Had collapse, started having seizures when he was 2. In the neurologist, doing all type of stuff, what they tell you, not. And going to church, doing all this. I'm like you say, if you bring your kids up and you still instill stuff in them, but then you want to sit back and judge and say, oh, they ain't going to be doing that. They ain't nothing because they your friend and they drink with you. Stop it. This is a child that then went through everything, but got into the highest freaking branch of the military, the Air Force. Come on, y'all, stop it. Stop. Let's stop saying that our kids gonna be a certain way or do a certain things because you are closer with them, or because they're allowed to drink with you. No, shit gonna happen regardless to what they decide to do or whatever, and life is going to happen. But when you instill in your kids the right thing and all of that, they still got to make their own choices of what they're going to do and how they're going to do. You still going to teach your kids to learn, to go to school, to do things that need to be done. So if you're looking at the fact that we sit here and they old enough to drink, and I'm like, Mom, you want to drink? Yeah, pour me one too. Oh, that's what's wrong with her and her kids, because they friends and all that. They never my friends, and they never will be my friends. But I'm going to do all of these things and all that. But I still know when my kids are troubled. And they 30-year-old men. I still know when my kids are troubled. I still know what's going on. But do you? Because you the one that don't hang around your kids or do nothing because you feel like, oh, you partying with them. No, just because you sitting there and you having a dinner, or y'all having a family get together and y'all having a dinner and y'all playing cards, doing like I say, whatever it is y'all might be doing, and y'all intertwining with y'all family and everybody playing music and they doing that, so you decide to call that kicking it with them. Your loss. That's why I say they lost. Because baby, that's how you build relationships and you build stuff with them. It still ain't no disrespect, because mine know their heads will be knocked off. Don't play with me ever.
Yeah, and I feel that being that person for them actually teaches them what is right and wrong to do in any situation. Mm-hmm. If I'm sitting there and I'm watching you and I'm like, okay, he drinking a little bit too much. Now I can actually turn around and say, son or daughter, push back.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It's okay.
this is the objective I don't want you to run into.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to limit what you drink. You have to limit this. Everything has to be done at a limit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if I don't teach you,
And
who
I done
gonna
had
teach you
those
that?
conversations. I done told
Yeah,
them.
if I don't teach you, who gonna teach you that? You gonna find out when you get kidnapped,
Mm-hmm.
or you gonna find out when you run into something because you too drunk to drive home.
That.
And yeah, there's always stuff out there that says, "Oh, don't drive drunk," but
And they think it's good to drink all that straight liquor and all that. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's bad for
That's
your
bad
liver. That's
your
bad
liver.
for
Yeah.
everything.
So
I'm
if I
like,
start
nah.
telling you the things that it could actually hurt,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm teaching you, then I know that you've learned it.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever your choice is, I know you learned
On
it.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he outside or she outside,
He'll remember what I said,
Yeah.
and
regardless,
he'll
or
be
she'll
saying it to
remember.
her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And we don't hear them saying it, but they become
Mhm.
on the other side.
Mhm.
Yep. Or if they see one of their friends going through it, yeah, my mama talked to me about that before. Da, da, da,
Or
da,
you
da.
should talk to my mama because
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the thing about it is too, you know, they still make their choices on certain things they did and all that, but I still had the opportunity to watch them, like you say, and see what's going on. I still had. I'm like, you see what this do? You see what this do? You see what this drug do? You see what that do? You see what all of this does. So this is not the route you want to go.
But the
Drinking is
difference
legal, and go ahead and do your little drink.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever.
The difference is you know what your kids doing because you guided them, and can't nobody come tell you about your kids.
Right.
A lot of people be like, my kid won't do this.
Oh,
baby.
no,
When
I ain't gonna
used
never
to
say
teach
that.
School, sweetheart, these 2-year-olds.
They'll do
Soon as
things
your
that
mama
you would.
walk out the
Yeah,
door.
they'll do things you wouldn't think they
Baby,
would do.
my son, my third, be the most innocent little thing. I come up there to the school and he don't know I'm there. He laid out on the floor. He don't see me in there. I'm like, don't tell him I'm in here. She's like, Xavier, get up. And I just walk and stand over. Xavier. Yes, ma'am. If you don't get your butt up out the floor.
That's what they do. That's what I tell them. I say,
They was
but
like, Mom, I appreciate you.
that's the
knowing your
part of
kid did
the report that you build with your own kids, like you have to build with them when you're teachers and you all that. And that's basically what all, the conversation is leading off, because it's about time to get off of her. But that's basically what the whole conversation is all about, is if you have that connection and that bond and that trust and that openness with your children, then even if they get tricked into something or they fall, because none of us are perfect, grown people fall into a mess. If they fall into something, they won't be afraid to come to you and let you know what's going on. And a lot of times they waiting on you to ask. So that's why I say we have to be vigilant in a lot of things that we do and pay attention to our children. And we have to be not afraid to ask these questions and to talk to our children, because a lot of times they wait on you to ask for they can block everything out to you, because they don't know how to come. They
and
be
tell
waiting
you.
on you to ask, and they
Yeah.
be like, oh, so my mama.
Now
I already
it's
know
a
what's
breath,
going
yeah,
on.
It's a
Yeah.
release taken off of them, like
release.
you already know. Okay, well,
Well,
then
let
I
me,
might as well
yeah.
tell you the rest.
And then I was like, ooh, I've been waiting on you to say something and all of that. Our
'Cause they
children
afraid.
are going through so much, and it's so many predators out here. And like I say, we need to let them know that it happens. That's just what I'm gonna say. We make mistakes, but the thing is, when you learn from them, so you won't be caught in that again, and that you are able to speak on stuff that's going on before it goes too far to where somebody get killed or get kidnapped, or you decide you want to take your own life because you're embarrassed about what you did or what it went on. Because first of all, a naked picture is, who cares? Stop letting people. First of
Bully
all, the
you.
body is beautiful, it's natural, and all of that. So don't even worry about it, because the crazy thing about it, I always just been real, and I'm just gonna keep it real. 90% of the motherfuckers doing it anyway, so you're not doing nothing different. You shouldn't be doing it, but the ones who laughing or might have something to say, they probably done did it and they got just as much they self. So you just need to be, when you do shit, just be able to own up to it and be able to tell yourself, when I make decisions, I'm able to stand on them. So if I decide to take a naked picture and it get out because that's how the internet is, it never
Or
goes
I chose
away.
the wrong person to give it to.
Or I chose the wrong person to give it to, and they decide to give it out. It is what it is. So when you do things, know that it could come back.
Yeah. You have to learn to make the decisions
Yeah,
that are right for you
right for you.
and not, or I tell my kids.
So if I put this picture, if I send you this picture, do I care if somebody else see it? Because that's the first thing you
That's
have to do.
literally how you gotta
When I
talk to
take this
yourself.
picture, when I take this picture and send it to this man, or when I take this picture and send it to this woman, whether I'm touching myself or I'm doing whatever I'm doing, or if I'm just sitting there with just taking a picture of my naked self, do I care if other people see it? So we have to do more of talking real and telling them the realness. So if you ain't embarrassed about nothing, then you don't have to worry about it, because then people can't come back
And threaten you.
and threaten you where you go out here and commit suicide.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So
Basically asking them how you feel.
how you feel?
So if I did this and somebody seen it, how are you gonna feel about that? Because we be asking our kids like, how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
My question is whether it's a friendship, my kidship, or if I get caught, how am I gonna feel?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I keep panties on. That's why I keep socks on. That's why I keep my thoughts clear. Because I'm always thinking, okay, if the police pull me over and decide to lock me up, I got to have on socks. I got to have on panties. I got to have on clean socks, and I got to have on clean panties. It's basically starting a pattern from a baby that they can follow.
Mm-hmm. So your last thought on the whole situation?
Communicate with your kids. Don't ever make them feel like they don't have you to come to first. Ask a lot of questions. Stay in their business, meaning be vigilant. Watch what's going on. If something changed with them, you should be the first person to know. If the school calls you and tell you something changed with them, don't push it out. Question everything, including the people that's calling you.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times things are getting brought to me after somebody had told the parent 1,000 times and the parent was in denial.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need a therapist, and now they calling me to talk to the kid when you just never took the time out to actually ask the questions to your kid. It shouldn't take to get to me for you to know your kid.
Right.
And the kid's crying, well, Mama, I've been trying to tell you this. Now the mother crying, you ain't tried to tell me, and cussing the kids out when you can hear the kids saying it. So my thing is be vigilant with your kids, ask a million questions, stay in their business. If they little babies, watch them on this internet, because the internet is the devil.
Exactly.
That's my thoughts.
Last thought.
Go ahead, B.
She said most of everything that was running through my head when it comes to these kids. But just make sure that they understand that you are a sounding board. You are their go-to. Like, no matter how you look at it, you learn how to be a friend from how I treat you.
Absolutely.
So always remember, even though I'm your parent first, I'm never your total friend, but I'm always the one friend that you ain't got to worry about when you tell me something that I'm not going to be there for you.
All right.
That part.
So, once again, guys, y'all know we're gonna get into depth on things, and it can counterclockwise on a lot of things, and we'll touch on a lot of things that's going in. But like you said, they basically said it all. Be vigilant. Communication is everything. Pay attention to change. And always be able to speak on things, because that's the only way. You can't be shy and afraid, because I know a lot of us are shy and afraid to go to people and talk about things. And then if you are, stop being afraid to get counselors or whatever. Some females only want to talk to females. Some males only want to talk to males. Just like when we have doctors, when you become a girl, you only want a girl doctor. An older girl, older boy, you only want a male doctor. So just remember all these things. But once again, we just want to leave y'all with that. Communication is always the key to everything. Be vigilant. Check out what's going on these internet things. Sneak in there, even if you got to sneak and do it where you feel like you don't want to break their trust or whatever. And then when you find something, be able to go speak to somebody if you don't know exactly how to come to them or whatever. Speak to somebody to help you speak to your child, or take them somewhere to have somebody to talk to about the situation and let them know it's okay, and then they can bring y'all in together so that y'all know that everything's okay and that person ain't mad with that one or whatever. Because there's a lot of counselors and mediators. But once again, this has been Talk That Talk. Cocktail hour is 9:00, so that means we're done. So we're gonna to sign off with your girl
Tay Brown,
Bianca Page,
and Gina Wade. And y'all know y'all can catch us here each and every Monday night from 7 to 9. And this has been our show, and we're gonna sign off with these smooches and deuces. Good show, ladies. Everybody bing.